Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope your day is off to a great start. It's November. November already. So, wow, this year is like the weirdest year for me, and probably you too. It feels like the fastest, slowest year ever of my life. But today, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I was thinking about a good topic for today, and I thought of a podcast that I listened to several years ago, and I re-listened to it this morning, and it was they were explaining a culture or a saying in a culture. It was a Samoan saying. So basically, the story goes like this: is in Samoa, some of their traditional cooking methods are big fires, like on the beach. Obviously, it's a beautiful place, lots of beaches, and they would cook a lot on the beach. And what they would do is heat up these stones in a fire, and then I'm sure you might have seen it, maybe like in luau's and things like that. And they dig a pit, and they heat up all of these stones, and then they put like banana leaves, and they wrap up different foods that they're going to cook in this pit, and then they transfer these stones, these hot stones, from this fire into the pit, and then cover the pit, and it cooks the food. And the saying was is that some people, or some of the men that were making the pit, would try to cut corners, and they had tools to grab the stones, the hot stones from the fire to put into the pit, like tongs or big tools. But they would sometimes pick up these hot stones and move them over to the pit just to save time. And they had a saying, and I wrote down the saying, and I always remembered it, but it's not, is that it's only when the hand burns do you reach for the tongs. So that was the Samoan saying. Obviously, it might have changed, be a little bit different, but that's what I wrote down. It's only when the hand burns that you reach for the tongs. So with the whole point of that podcast and to think about your business and what you're doing every day is some of us wait till we get burned before we use the tools or technology or the systems or the support, because we cut corners. So some of us, I see it happen to many, many, many agents every year. They're working their butts off because they're being burned right now financially. They have bills coming due. Every single transaction, I see it, that paycheck is already spent, that commission's already spent. We have agents, and there's many, many agents out there at all companies that as soon as that check comes in, that the money's already gone. So they only use and get serious about work when they're getting burned. So today I wanted to remind you, says, don't get burned. Don't wait to get burned financially or stress-wise, or even in your personal life. You don't get burned. Don't get to a bad place before you have to work on it. If you get into a bad place, like say financially, stress, relationship wise, and in your life, if you're waiting, if everything is going well, example, what I took from this podcast was when they're picking up the hot stones, it's all good because they're, wow, I'm saving time, I'm not getting burned. But then you're burnt, you get burnt, you're in a worse place than you would be. Now you're far behind. Now you're hurt. Now you have to rebuild. You're not even, you're below ground. You have to build, come out of that hole. So the point I take from this podcast and what I took from this is that don't wait till you get burnt to start working and using things. Don't wait in your business for everything to fall apart, and you financially have to work every day, 12 hours plus a day to get these deals done. You're crying if one deal falls through because you're counting on that sale. If you're in that part of your business, you want to have choices. You don't want to be that close to the fire of financial ruin to work hard. And the tool that I'm going to say, the tongs, so to say, is your cell phone. that's kind of what I tell every agent every day. And a lot of you are watching that. I coach and I say it every day. How often have you picked up the phone? How many calls did you make today? How many people did you reach out to? How did you connect with your database and your sphere of influence? And what did you do today to use your tools that you have? And again, I'm not talking about crazy technology. I'm like, did you use your tool, your personality, your voice to communicate and meet with people? Did you pick up the phone? What did you do? So you don't have to keep your way from the fire as much as possible, so you don't get burnt. And then you really have to work extra hard because you're now burnt. You're in a position where you have to work, and you have to and you're praying that every deal that you have goes through because you need them to go through. So, but the great thing, I say this all the time about real estate, is that you can build this up where you have choices, where you're far away from the fire. You can have the financial freedom to make choices. I don't want that client, or I'm not showing that person 50 houses in 3 days. I'm not, that person's way too demanding. I have all my bills paid. I have money saved up, all of that. And I'll say this to all of the agents that are watching this that are doing very well. Congratulations. I'm happy to see you're doing very well, especially the agents that have not been in the real estate business less than 10 years, which is half the realtors in the country, less than 10 years. Things are going great now. Prepare for the future. Save some of that money. Keep up with your database, because I see this all the time in 28 years of real estate. When the market is good, some agents, because people are coming at them, it's nice. You're not, some referrals are just flowing. People, you're always showing houses, but you might be lacking on the contacts, the database, the fundamentals of what you need to do to keep your business going for a career. So at the end of the day, if you said you were working with your current customers and not following up with your database and making sure that you have email campaigns going out and connecting with people, because the roller coaster might be going up that hill. The roller coaster might be going up that hill. It looks great, and then all of a sudden, your deals close. All of a sudden, hopefully it doesn't happen anytime soon. The rates jump up. Something happens in the economy. People slow down a little bit. Something happens in the local market, lack of inventory or something like that. So if you're doing well, congratulations. Just remember to still use the tools. Still think about the follow-up. Still think about the prospecting, because you don't want to do that when you're burnt. All of a sudden there's no deals coming in. There's nothing that, and every several years I see it's happened. Agents, their business is going great, and all of a sudden it falls off a cliff because they didn't use the tools. They didn't do the basics. They were working on their business, but not, planning for the future. So think about that, because I see it all the time. Some agents like, oh, my business is going to be like this forever. It's never goes like this. It's like cutting corners. You're thinking that it's going to continue to go up, and it's going to continue your business is going to continue to be like this, because it's been like this for a year, 2 or 3. But unless you do the prospecting, you do all the things you're supposed to do, doing the things that you would do if you had no business today. Like you had 0 customers today, what would you do? You'd be picking up the phone, you'd be pounding the pavement, you'd be making connections to try to find business. So think of that. I say that a lot to agents when coaching them. I say, if you have buyers and sellers, and right now, that's great, of course, and you have enough that where you're at your limit of where you want to work, that's great. But wake up every day thinking you have none, and spending time finding new business, and you won't have that up and down. I know, again, I'll say this before I get off the video today. If you're doing well, great, but it doesn't end up like that unless you consistently work at your business and consistently do it over a career. And there's the very few agents that have a 30+ year career without doing those basic things, and things just falling on into their lap. If that things are falling into your lap, that's great. It's a blessing when that happens. But if you're not out there calling people up and asking for those referrals, so think about all your business you have. If you didn't pick up the phone and get it, like, I got that client because I picked up the phone, I called someone, it gave me a referral, and I called that person. If you don't have many of those type of clients that you got them from your prospecting, then you got to work a little bit harder at it and make sure you're using the tools. And I hate to see agents when they're scrambling, they're burnt, they're financially, they have no options, and they're just trying to pound out and finding leads and finding buyers and sellers when it's already not too late, but they're already burnt, and they have to have every single thing happen for them to pay their bills, be less stressed about life and their relationships and family and all of that, and it affects everything. So hopefully that helps you a little bit, something to think about. I think about this a lot, just comes into my mind. It's like, you don't want to wait till I get burnt before I work and get things done. That's kind of what I think about every day. It's just everything, my day flows with that kind of thought. It's just, don't want to wait till it's too late. So that's it for today. Have a great Monday. Tomorrow we'll have some more direct real estate training at 11. So see you tomorrow at 11. Have a great day. Bye-bye.